Thank you for joining us today. I've got Paul Orlando, the creative genius behind Orlando Creative Services and Orlando Creative Studios out of Safety Harbor, Florida. Paulie, how's it going, bud?
It's going great. How's it going over there, Mike?
Not too bad. Very good. Excited to finally get your social strategy up and running and be official. Hopefully, though, someday soon I'll have the amount of awards that you have on the back of your wall there just as much as.
Cheaper by the wallful.
There you go. Very good, sir. No, honestly, Paul, I have to give you credit. I think you do an amazing job. Just as a note, my logo, yoursocialstrategy.com, was created, in fact, by Paul. So kudos to you and my brochure and everything else that's been going on. So, Paul, there's obviously a lot of change in the funeral industry in so many sectors, from consumers to you name it. But one of the areas that I think funeral directors are seeing a change is in print medium. Can you give me a little bit of insight, give our listeners a little insight on what you think, between print medium and digital medium? What are you seeing happening?
Well, I think that with the dawning of the web, print kind of went away for a long time, and now emphasis is all on digital media, and print is getting forgot about. But print has not gone away, but its role in advertising has changed. I would say that print's new role is to direct people to website. To understand that, you got to know that there are different classifications of prospective clients or families, and there are those that are loyal to your firm. You're really not going to need to talk to them because you already have them. You have people that are loyal to a competitor of yours. You need to go after those, as well as people that don't have a preference. The people that don't have a preference are probably the most likely to use a search to determine to make their decision on whether they're at need or pre-need, that sort of thing. So when you look at it that way, a person to get digital media to work, someone has to be sitting at a computer and looking for you or looking for somebody like you. Print is known to hit people while they're not looking. And the whole name game is to be visible, be front of mind, so when it comes time to make the decision, they're familiar with you. And by the way, Mike, do you know the number one way to reach people in their homes is?
Well, I used to think it would be newspaper. But what would be today's way?
The mail. That is the number one most successful way to reach people in their home. Successful being not in return, but in being able to get your message put right in a person's hand. So if someone did not know about your firm, and I'm telling you, with these lists, you can get as specific as I want the head of household to be a 51-year-old female who lost her father but not her mother. You can get insanely specific. And you can put from something as simple as a letter or a full color brochure with pictures, and get it right in her hand. She'll open it up. That's how you drive people to a website.
Very good. Well, that's something interesting. And you know what? I would think that a lot of people still probably do that, getting together a good pre-need program, something that the target, as you said, your market, your community, is critical. And I really liked how you identified the three different, basically, segments of the market: those that follow you, those that follow your competitor, and those that haven't made a decision. And I agree with you that those that have not made a decision are likely to turn to the web and do a search. And it's not going to be a search for your name, the company name. It's going to be a search of general term. Could it be, funeral pricing in Abbotsville, Georgia? And where do you rank for that? And where do you come up? Now, how do you see with digital marketing, where do you see the help that funeral homes need now moving for the next couple of years?
Okay, well, search engine optimization is key for the undecideds, because chances are they really don't know what specifically they're looking for. But for people in a small area, and you've got a competitor and you got those people, if they're not going to search you out, I would say that try to be in front of people's faces as much as possible. Try to be online where they are. Be on their church websites. Be on the government websites. Be where they may not necessarily be looking, but they'll still see you. They may not even know they see you, but when the time comes and they're doing a search, they're like, oh yeah, I keep seeing that place pop up online. And that's familiarity, and that's what it's all about.
That's a good point. I like that thought. Being where they are, where people are frequently going. And one of the great new tools that are out there is the Google AdWord display ads. It's a great opportunity, but what the display ads do is they actually follow you around. So if that website is signed up to display Google ads, and that person's been on your website to pay their respects or do whatever, then when they show back, or when they go back to that church site or whatever site, your ad has a chance of coming up. I've heard it 100 times, Paul, where people will say, how did your ad follow me around? And that is the Google display ads. It's a fascinating piece, but you have to have the properly designed ad. That's critical to success. Another area that, Paul, you and I just worked on is the July bereaved parents post. And I tried something new there, Paul, and it was Facebook advertising. I boosted the post. I put a $12 or $13 price tag on it for 2 days. And Paul, in 2 days, we've almost had 3,800 people reached, over 100 likes, and we're at 80 shares. Now, you know what? For us two guys that really were learning something new, this is pretty amazing. And it just shows that if you spend a few dollars, not on everything, I wouldn't say an individual tribute would be a post that you would boost, but definitely a pre-arrangement, create a proper ad or something that would be worthwhile. That'd be something interesting.
Yeah, and that was a tribute to July is Bereaved Parents Month for awareness. But whatever that was, it could have been anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you and I have been working on the idea of anything that happens big in the world, we will do a post that people can share. And I like that idea. Again, and for those that are listening that haven't seen it, if you go to Your Social Strategy site on Facebook or Paul's Orlando Creative Services Facebook page, we both have the post there to share.
Absolutely, yeah. And I can vouch for Mike's expertise, because I will be in my travels through Facebook and clicking on pictures of dumb stuff people do, and no matter where I go, I'll see a line that pops up somewhere on the page talking about Mike's website or his services. So I myself am amazed at Mike. Sometimes I feel like I got to look over my shoulder to make sure you're not watching me, because it just keeps coming up there.
Well, I appreciate that. It does take a little bit of time and effort, but at the end of the day, that's what your social strategy is about. So, Paul, describe a few services that you provide to our listeners. What are some things that Orlando Creative Services can provide to help our listeners with in regards to digital marketing? What are some things that you can do?
We're an advertising and design firm. We create and design pretty much anything visual, across the board, everything from your typical print. We do custom newspaper ads, right on up to electronic media. We can do banner ads. If you have visual components in your website, we can make those custom or make them better. And right on up to large graphics, large format graphics like convention booths, graphics for exhibit displays, that sort of thing. But the one thing we really excel at is if you have a particular issue that you need to address with a brand, or you're having an issue with a competitor, you need to get something across in a way that you're better, that you excel. That would fall under the category of branding, and we really could help you there. So we know what it should look like, we know what it should say. So if you're interested, contact me here at orlandocreativeservices.com. You can there's email off of the website, or the email address here is paul@orlandocreativeservices.com.
Very good and critical things. I agree with you. And some of those services are not limited, as I said, just to print, obviously digital, and, helping with Facebook advertising, the Google AdWord ads that we talked about. At the end of the day, you're certainly a multifaceted individual. You're not limited to only the funeral industry. And one thing that I'd like the listeners to know is that, Paul, you were very critical in the beginning phases of MKJ Marketing, and you were a co-founder of Adfinity. And those are the two primary marketing companies that are in the funeral service industry. And I want people to understand that you are now, while not in with those teams any longer, it's still Paul. It's you still do an amazing job. I've had so many comments about my logo, and
shucks.
I know, but it just shows. And when I was doing a couple things on your website, I saw funeral home logos that you've created, and it just blows my mind. The Dart one, for example, with the water droplet that goes into the water and the water moves. The leaf falling out of the sky. I mean, there's a whole pile of meaning behind everything, and you really do comprehend what people are looking for and deliver it.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. I try to give it my all. I don't feel right unless whoever I'm doing the work for is completely thrilled with it. I tend to make sure that whatever the experience is, that the client walks away nothing short of being thrilled.
Very good. Well, Paul, I really love the time that you gave me today. I really appreciate it. I know I'm taking a little bit of time out of your creative juice environment, but I love the fact that you were able to provide me some time, and I really do look forward to working with you more in the future.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. The pleasure was mine, and we'll talk with you next time.
All right. Thank you.